everyone, and welcome into another episode of the Valkyrie podcast. I'm your host, Angel of Battle 07, and I have a very special guest with me here today, Mr. Mitch, one of the owners of Valkyrie. Mitch, how you doing, buddy?
All right. How about you, man?
I'm doing all right. Welcome. Thank you again for coming on to the podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out of your day.
Yes.
Before we get into it, I do just want to mention our sponsors and our partners over at gamersupps.gg and their new cup, the teacher cup that just came out, I believe, yesterday, actually. So if
Would
you're
you
looking...
do anything for an A?
Dude, they need to use that, man. Oh my goodness.
Someone, what was it they tweeted out? Are you staying
for extra
hours?
Credit or something like
Extra
that?
credit, yeah. Are you staying for extra credit? Yeah, that's a good one too.
If you guys want to go and pick up another cup from gamersupps.gg, make sure you go over to their website. Use code Valkyrie for it's 10% off, right? Or is it 15 for you guys?
Yeah, it's 10%.
It's 10%. Okay, 10% off. Get you if you want a waifu cup or try one of their flavors like Kaho's Guilty Pleasure, which I think fits perfectly with this cup as well. Head on over. Not to mention, and a topic that we're going to go over today is the summer line for Valkyrie's merch, which I am repping right now. The 80s summer line as well. If you guys like the shirt,
I still need to get that.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. I kind of want to get the white version as well, but I'm like low on cash right now, so we'll wait. If you guys head on to the Valkyrie website and go to the shop, it'll take you over to Acquire, where you can check out the whole full summer line, which won't be around for too much longer. So go get your merch now while you can. Use code Valkyrie in the shop, which I believe is another like 5 or 10% discount as well. So, man, it has been a crazy week in esports, Mr. Mitch. And we're going to go over that as well. But some of the biggest things, and one of the first questions I always ask all of my guests is, we are in the gaming realm. We're in esports and everything like that. What got you into gaming? Like, what was it, like your parents got you a console, or what? Well, I want to hear your story. What got you into gaming first?
I guess it kind of started really far back. This is something I didn't try to think of my answer beforehand, but it just popped in my head as you said that. So way back in the day, I'm talking like when computers were all in one, and it was those big tube, giant, the computers were probably solid 50 pounds. Gateway was like the number one kind of a thing to get. But my dad had a computer upstairs in the house that I grew up in. I was probably just old enough to start talking, just old enough to understand what was going on. But he had a few computer games. That was back when you had to have it on like an actual disc,
the floppy drive
to stick in. Well, it might have been some of them on floppy too, but I'm pretty sure most of them were CD. But anyways, so there was yeah, I feel old just talking about it too, but I was in that transition area because my parents weren't right into the new stuff. They weren't all the way up to date as technology was evolving. They were always a slight step behind. So I got things after the fact. But anyways, so we had the old computer. We had CD games. I think one of them I remember, it was a Star Wars game. It looked like Doom basically, but it was Star Wars. I remember specifically there was a mission where you go down to this deep dark cave and you have to fight a Rancor.
Nice.
And I was scared at the time of that. So every time my dad would get to that part, I'd be like, nope, I'm out. And then there was another one, I think it was called Road Rage. It was like a arcade style, basically like GTA before GTA in terms of getting kind of out there. You would drive motorcycles and you would kick people off of theirs and you just harass people on the road pretty much. That's probably my earliest memory of it, and just being there sitting on my dad's lap while he would play those. That was my start, and obviously how I got interested. And then from there, my first console was a PlayStation 1.
Nice.
I remember getting that and the Spider-Man game that was out for it.
Dude, I think I remember that one.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a real good one. I still remember the blocky as hell textures, and it was, looking back on it then from now, it was terribly rendered in terms of graphics, but back then it was probably pretty damn good.
Yeah.
that was probably the one I played the most on PlayStation 1. We also had like Rocket Power, a bunch of little random ones like that. There was something SpongeBob related, but
What is it? Metal Gear, I think it was, where you could drive around as the cars and try to blow.
Twisted Metal.
That's what it is. Oh,
I never had that one, but I heard that was a big one.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
That big boxy like ice cream truck with the clown on the top.
Yes, the clown. Yeah, I think my friend had that, but I never played it. Then we upgraded to a PlayStation 2, and I played a lot of Sly Cooper, the whole series, some Jack and Daxter, Star Wars Battlefront, offline, of course, because we didn't have internet for the longest time, so I was always playing against bots. NFL Street.
Yes.
1 and 2. I don't know if you remember that one yet.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the game breaker, and you like run off the wall, and you do style points, and there's like mini games. That was a good time.
Did you ever play Blitz? NFL Blitz?
I don't think so.
Where you could like actually injure somebody, like you could like after the play you could run after or grab them and like pile drive them into the ground and stuff.
No.
Dude, it's so fun. And like the newer well, I say newer, but it was like GameCube or something like that. If you injured somebody, it would go into like an X-ray view. It would like zoom in on the injury and you'd watch it happen.
That sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever played it.
Dude, it's so good, and it had to be M-rated. There's no way it wasn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes NFL Street seem kind of tame.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, that was a good one. And then I think my freshman year of high school, I think, is when my parents finally got us a current gen console, because we had the PlayStation 2 for long through its predecessors. And so, like I said, freshman year, got a PlayStation 3 for Christmas. And I would always go to friends' houses because they had those newer gen consoles, and Xbox 360, and the Wii was really big back then too. I would go to their place to play Call of Duty, specifically Zombies. Wasn't super into multiplayer at first, but then I kind of developed into there, obviously. And I think my first real taste of esports was playing some of League play on Black Ops 2. So that's kind of how I got into gaming, just kind of seeing technology develop over time in the form of the next console and the next game as things kind of built. I was always into that.
Gotcha. And I mean, really, right around the boom of video games kind of taking off and everything, it was a great time growing up. That we kind of got the best of both worlds, or I know I did, because I got computers, so like the floppy drive and stuff like that. I was playing like Donald Duck something on a floppy drive, right? Back with
what was that?
Like IBM, kind of like the big square monitor. Everything was like it was supposed to be white, but it was like that yellow tint.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's like a cream color, like eggshell. You know what? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And then into NES, Super NES, Atari, and stuff like that. I'm a little bit older than most people in the esports scene, so I got to live through that.
Not that much.
And then and then N64, GameCube, and then boom, it was PlayStation, and then it just blew up after that as well. So definitely feel that. I remember that Spider-Man game, definitely, where you could just throw webs into the sky and you're swinging on nothing. But
and if you fell like past there was like fog, you couldn't even see the ground. If you fell past like the top of a building, you died and you had to like respawn. Yeah, just webbing in the middle of nowhere. The animation.
Yep.
It was great.
The Spidey sense was always weirdly weird too. It was
yeah.
And then like the Rumble Pack, it was whoa.
Oh my god, the OG Rumble Packs, man. Yeah.
It was a blast, man.
They were intense.
And you kind of mentioned that about him getting into competitive, and that was kind of my next pivot point as well. Is like, obviously you got into gaming, you've been around gaming for a while now. What got you kind of that? Obviously, you talked about COD being that first little taste. What point in time where you're like, yeah, I actually want to compete? Because I know a little bit about your background is that you did come from some competitive COD and everything like that. What was your first taste or your first introduction to it? And then like your realization moment, like, yeah, this is something I want to do. And then let's talk about your time in competitive COD as well.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about kind of being brought into this realm in the boom of video games, but I think For me personally, I was also in the boom of YouTube,
Yep.
and where content was really starting to explode. I'm talking like OG Optic House times.
Yep.
And yeah, so I watched a lot of YouTube. PewDiePie was huge. He was one of my favorites and still is to this day. He's definitely influenced a lot of content in general, so he was massive. But you know, watching a lot of YouTube on a consistent basis, we've all been there. We get down the YouTube rabbit hole, and you start by watching someone you know, because you're subscribed to them and you want to watch their videos, and then you find yourself into a completely different topic at some point. So somewhere along the line of falling into that rabbit hole, I landed on or saw on the sidebar of like suggested videos. I think it was MLG Anaheim for Black Ops 2. And it was the clip where like Scump is cross mapping people with the Scorpion. And I just thought that was really cool because I played COD. I was more into zombies. I played significantly more zombies than I did multiplayer, but I still had a little bit of casual taste of multiplayer, just for fun to unlock camos and stuff. But seeing that there was a scene where people were competing and taking this seriously, and that there was like, you know, actual means to strategize and do more than you did in pubs, I was like, dang, this is really cool. And they're like under these teams. It's almost like a real sports league, like football and NFL. Wow, this is really cool. From there, that's when I started doing league play stuff because I was like, oh, they play league play. I'm gonna play league play. It's not quite the same. It's not real competition, but that was sort of the intro, the very base level. Just playing with some random friends from school. Very, very light competition there. But so from there, I think the game after that was Call of Duty Ghosts. And hey, I actually really enjoyed Ghosts. I thought it was a fun game. It was kind of gray. There wasn't a whole lot of color. That's Infinity Ward for you. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the guns. I actually really liked the maps, contrary to the popular belief. And so that game came out, and I continued to do sort of the casual pubs thing because there wasn't zombies in that game. That was the first, or I guess the second game that I bought on release night, because I bought Black Ops 2. That was my first midnight release. You know, back when you'd like crowd around GameStop. Yes. I actually never went to a GameStop release. Well, I went to one, but that was way after. That was in college. I went to Walmart because I thought that would be easier.
Yep.
And it was just a shitty experience. But yeah, it was anyway. So that was the first game that I like actively played more than anything else, and that's the game that I started getting into S&D and doing game battles on, because that was right when I was starting to finally get like decent internet, not having to run like 100-foot Ethernet cable, you know, through the house. I was still playing on a TV, mind you, but yeah, I was playing in the middle of my family living room on sitting on an ottoman, not even a back to it, middle of the living room on a 42-inch TV, probably had like 5 to 10 millisecond delay. I don't know how I was even able to win half the gunfights I did. But yeah, so playing game battles there just for fun, not really taking it super serious. And then I moved to college. I think it was so I graduated in 2014. And then right as I moved into college, I got an Xbox One because that's right around the time they were coming in.
Yeah.
Or it might have been the summer after they came out. I'm not 100% sure, but got an Xbox One because I really wanted to like have the newest. I really wanted to get on the train then. Plus I was, you know, being more independent going to college. So had my own money and stuff. Bought that. Was rooming with my best friend from high school. And that's when Advanced Warfare came out. We went to the midnight release for that, and that's when I actually put together a team. And we still didn't do much variant, so playing like respawns as well as S&D. It was still more S&D, but Advanced Warfare was probably my most played COD of all time, just because you wouldn't expect that now. but that was probably, it was between that and Ghosts, probably my most played CODs.
Gotcha.
So starting with S&D tourneys there, starting to get into the team aspect, starting to watch more of the events, and really getting involved in COD champs with the CWL. Yeah, so that's kind of where it all started spiraling and snowballing into what it is now. And to answer the question about sort of my experience being a competitor for COD, so kind of getting excited about the fact that there was actual organizations and teams with logos. At the same time, I was starting to really delve into design as well. I didn't want to just play for someone with a shitty, brand. I kind of wanted to make a cool name and a cool group. And that started out in the form of, I don't know if anyone in our community now knows what it was, but or knows that I've talked about this, but it was called Symbiosis, and
Okay.
which really was just kind of like the concept of standing for growth together and relying on one another to make it. And so that was very brief, the beginning of Advanced Warfare. That kind of shut down because it wasn't something I was taking super serious. It wasn't an org. It was just kind of a team name.
Yeah.
And then through changing some friend groups, I'm trying to remember. I think just somewhere along the line, I ended up coming up with the name Illuminate, and shedding light on the competition, lighting them up. That was kind of the motto.
Okay.
That was also sort of starting off as just a name to play under with a cool logo. And that logo changed so many times over the next couple of years. I was always like, nah, I want to do it this way. No, I want this color scheme. Oh, I want to modernize it. Oh, we need to be a little more minimal because, mascot logos are going out of style, kind of a thing. But so it started off as a name, and then we started playing in like online leagues with the same consistent roster, mostly in like World War II. COD World War II.
Yeah.
And
I actually didn't get a chance to play
like,
that one. I wanted to so bad. I didn't get a chance to play World War II.
I mean, to be honest, you weren't missing too much. It was, that one was more of a fun game for comp than it was for pubs.
Got you.
So I find that the general public doesn't like those games as much when they're more competitive focused. I played the crap out of that game and almost went to a LAN for that game, but just couldn't afford it because I was still doing class and stuff for college. So after that league wrapped up, that's when I was like, I kind of want to start taking this outside more than just being a team game. I kind of want to like start putting something more together. And we started recruiting content creators. I remember one of our biggest ones. I don't know if he'll find this video somewhere. We're still friends on like Steam and Epic, and I think he's still on Twitter as well. I think I have him added on Discord, but his name was Red. That was his alias, was Red, and he was like the first real inspiration for me to like get enjoyment out of recruiting content creators and wanting to put together something there. And from there, I was still doing competitive stuff. I was still playing GBs a lot, and during Black Ops 4 was my first real LAN that I went to compete. I went to MES Detroit, and I think there was 60, 70 teams there, and we ended up placing like top 12.
Nice.
Which is really good for a first LAN against some of the competition that was there. There was some people who ended up being in the league at some point that competed there. I don't know if you know too much about the COD League, but Brack was there. He ended up being a pretty big star in Black Ops 4. Emmer Weeze was there. He was kind of bigger a couple titles ago. But he's kind of been in and out of the league since. there was a lot of people, but it was a good experience. Come to find out, there was some form of a Valkyrie team there. I just had no idea about it because I was doing my own thing.
Yeah.
But so what kind of brought me to the next step in terms of wanting to pursue the business side of it was one of the casters that was there. He actually casted one of our matches when we were on main stage. In between matches, it was after one we just won. We want it. They were doing it was supposed to be best of fives, but it ended up being best of threes because they ran out of time because they had to change the rules because CWL dropped their rule set the day that the tournament started.
Oof.
So it was just a clusterfuck of everything.
Right.
And but anyways, we just won 2-0 on one of the matches we played. It was pretty dominant. There was no shot that they were going to win that. We slapped him pretty hard. And he casted that one. And after we were done, we were going back to kind of talk as a team and then get something to eat because we didn't have a match for a while. But he stopped me and he's like, hey, so you're Spek, right? And I'm like, that's what it says on my jersey. And he's like, I just wanted to tell you, man, just as someone who doesn't even know you, someone who's just kind of involved in the casting scene, I really like what you guys are doing. I like you guys as a team. I like how you represent yourself. And as an aside, I like your brand. I like the logo is really cool. I think it's fire. And he's like, I think you guys honestly have a valid shot to win this whole thing, even with some of the names that are here. I was like, cool, man. I appreciate that. Further down the line, he ended up being someone that became a co-owner with me of that org.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's how I sort of really got leveled up. Obviously that org is no longer. Right. There was an end to it. There was some disagreements that were had. Funding was always an issue, both kind of doing school. Both had significant others, a lot of stuff that kind of hindered our capability to do stuff. Right. We also kind of trusted some people we shouldn't have that kind of wrecked it, but we eventually decided to call quits on that and go our own separate ways. And that really, I guess, kind of hurt me because that was the longest standing thing that I really was kind of active with.
Right.
Even though we weren't like by any means a top tier organization, it was special to me. And I think we had a good thing going for what we had.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you put your hard sweat and your soul into something, and then to see it come to a close is obviously going to be I mean, that's going to be something that lives with you for the rest of your life. But at least you had those moments. That's something you can always fall back on, is just to actually have those memories. Some people don't even get that chance as well, especially in the esports scene. So that's always a good thing. And that was actually going to be one of my pivot points again, was obviously that you were a part of the old org and owned the org as well. And now you own, a part or co-owner with Zach in Boston in this wonderful org that we are a part of now. Where did you meet those two? How did that relationship form? And then how did you guys become, decide, hey, let's do this together?
It started with Nate, actually.
Really?
So he was one of the players on that roster at the MES LAN.
Gotcha.
So I actually teamed with him for a while. After that event, I was teasing him about it because there was some misplay. There was some stuff we should have done in game that probably could have turned the tide of a match or two. And Nate kind of got the crap end of the stick for that because he was just not in the right spot at the right time for that. And after the event was over, me and the team were talking about dropping him and finding someone new, or dropping him and the fifth, because there was 5 people on a team at that point.
Right.
And finding 2 new players. So that happened, and then so I told him what was happening, and then literally the next day, the other 2 wanted to drop me too, like from my own team. And I was like, what the hell? So that was really the transition period, if you want to call it that, from competitor to org owner, because I was like, you know what, I haven't had like a long tenure as a competitor, at least in the serious like landscape, but I don't want to deal with this immaturity anymore. I don't see myself as like that good to go to the next level, so I still want to be integrated. How can I do that? So that's where the business was. So obviously I had met Nate at that point, and then after everything transpired with the closing of Illuminate, I took some time off. Like I said, it really kind of wrecked me a little bit. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt like on one hand, I didn't want to have to deal with the stress of it anymore, because I was kind of running the show, just me and the one other guy. But I also didn't want to leave it completely, because then it would have felt like all of that was a waste of time. Like it literally meant nothing aside from just me growing as a person, I guess.
Right.
So I took some time, kind of reevaluated what I wanted to do, and then I still hadn't made up my mind completely and totally. I didn't have like a free agent post or looking for org post or anything. And at the time, Matt messaged me. By the way, Matt was also a part manager of Illuminate. At one point, he was also a part owner. But he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, so are you looking to get back into org stuff?" And I was like, I mean, maybe. I've thought about it. It would have to be the right group, though. I don't want to just join up with people I don't know, and I don't know what makes them tick and their drive. Like, what do you have in mind? And he's like, well, I'm with Valkyrie right now, and we're always looking for staff members. So if you want, you can I can put a word in for you, or we can try to set up a meeting. And I was like, so who owns that? And he told me it was Zach and Nate, and I was like, oh, I already know Nate. I'm a DM him on Discord. So I did, and then we set up a meeting, and then I was GM. So that's kind of where that happened, and the rest is history.
Very nice, man. And then, so I guess, obviously, did you just kind of like pay your dues as GM and then build that relationship? And then obviously, at one point in time, Nate and Zach came to you and were like, hey, do you want to actually like co-own and help, run the show here?
So it was more, it's done more for me. I think.
Gotcha.
I think a lot of people, if you look at it like a job, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people see the workplace as you'll get offered it when you deserve it, kind of a thing. But there's a lot of people, including my dad, who kind of taught me, if you want to get to the next level, if you think you deserve more, then you should bring that up to them.
Right.
I tried that with a couple of my jobs in high school, and that stuck with me to this point. And I really cared about what the org was doing and where we were at. I liked that there was already sort of a foundation, which was more than I had with Illuminate to start. And I don't know, I just kind of vibed with them. And I've been working pretty hard. I did what I did with GM, and I obviously rebranded the whole visual side of it. Mm-hmm. And I came to them, I was like, hey, so I used to own an organization. I never thought I would want to do that again. But I really feel a charge to take on more for what this org is. And I think I'm more than deserving. So obviously it's your guys' call at the end of the day. And by all means, you don't have to respond right this moment. But I just like to discuss the potential of being an owner of Valkyrie. And then eventually came to what it was.
Gotcha. And then speaking of, as far as like the rebranding, everything, I don't know if many people know that was you, being, the graphics artist and the graphic designer and everything like that. And we love the logo, by the way, love the merch also. I have like everything that I can right now. I actually just got a flag in as well. I know you and I were talking about it earlier, but I actually purchased the flag.
You should have put it up.
I got it. Hold on. It was off here to the side. Hold on. Make sure I got it right here.
Yeah, let's go. It's the Acquire flag,
dude, and it's so like I love the quality. Like a lot of flags you get, they're like really thin, they tear real easy, but this is made with almost like the same material as like the jersey.
I was just gonna say it's literally like, the same jersey polyester.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I love it. I like it. I can't wait to hang it up. I don't know where yet. Tricky and I were thinking about back here in the background, but I don't know.
That'd be really cool.
Well, the only thing is with casting, then it would be in the back. And then if I'm casting for another team, they're gonna be like, "Could you take that down?"
You should have. So if you have it on nails, right? You should get like a blank green flag.
That's what I was
to put over it.
Yeah,
and then you can green screen the team you're casting's logo onto it.
That actually would be kind of fire. I actually might do that now. That would be legit. I have to think about that.
I'm sure I could message Mike and be like, "Yo, can you send AOB just a plain green flag?
Yeah,
I just need that for a green screen."
Yeah. Well, I have to DM you about that because that would actually be kind of cool. That would actually be really cool. All right. So being a graphic designer, where did you get, I don't know if maybe Zach, if you're editing this, by the way, could you put the old logo like in the middle or right? I'm terrible at this, right here, so that people can see like the old Viking helmet and everything like that. And then compare the two. Where did you guys get the inspiration for that? And then like the rebrand, and then where do you get some of the inspirations for like the jersey, the summer line, and some of the other t-shirts that you guys have come up with as well? Where did all that inspiration come from?
Honestly, it comes from just a place of wanting to do something fun. Just playing with design, just pushing some pixels around until something cool comes out. Obviously we've seen apparel and merch blow up in recent years. So we've been exposed to what that looks like visually. And while we're not copying what's going on, we're doing it in our own way to where it's unique to us. Right. It's still within that realm of this is what's popular, but we're taking that idea and changing into how does that look for Valkyrie, specifically with the whole logo rebrand and the whole visual system that I redesigned from the ground up. There was actually, I won't go into like a whole lot of detail on it specifically because there's a video that we did kind of detailing the whole process there. But some of the main talking points were wanting to move towards something more modern, wanting to kind of strip back some of those details because mascot logos are starting to get like fewer and far between, or they're not as effective. They're starting to look a little tacky. Right. A lot of sports teams are going towards that too. We're flatten things out, use a flat color, maybe even a gradient. So yeah, I wanted to kind of take what was it in modern sports and bring that into esports. And I was by no means the first one to do that because the scene was already kind of trending that way, but it was in need of a refresher and something, new, something that could be a more long-standing visual core of the organization. So that's where that started. And then I guess moving forward and just sort of the kit of parts, if you know what that is, it's just sort of the designer's toolbox. I don't hear you anymore.
No, I was like whispering. I was like, I don't know. It was more for the viewers to see that one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So kit of parts is basically like a designer's toolbox. Think of it like, so you can use these assets in future things and not have to come up with it on the spot and make it on the spot. For example, with us, it's the knowing what the color code is. It's the tangle, the little tangle thing that's on the flag. There's been additions to it over time. There's been certain patterns that have been added. There's been the symbols, the rune symbols that are part of that video. And actually, if it hasn't already been, we should have one of those little links in the top corner that this is that video, because I'm sure it's still on our channel, kind of detailing the whole logo and brand revision. But yeah, I think my whole process when it comes to making a brand and going from there is where applicable, obviously, because some names and some aliases, some just words don't really fit this process, but I like to integrate the brand and its visuals into the history behind what that word is. So thinking about Valkyrie, the whole concept of Norse mythology, right, and runes, Vikings, Norse gods, goddesses, villains, the whole shebang. How can I make that the feeling that you get from seeing those things and what those things stand for, and put them into a graphic, put them into a pattern, put them into something visual, so that's what I enjoy doing. I think that's what's effective. And I think that's what made Valkyrie's visuals what it is today.
Gotcha. And they're amazing. And I love them. I'm a huge supporter and advocate for the brand. I love, like, when I can afford it, to get pieces of merch. I wear it on stream all the time just because I know there was probably a good period of time where I was streaming, like every stream I had the jersey on, just because I love the way it looks. I love representing the brand and everything like that. So, and again, folks, if you want to go get some merch yourself, go to the Valkyrie website, use code Valkyrie. You know what to do. Anyway, nice little plug there.
But always got a plug. Always plugging.
And a lot of people actually, I don't know. Well, within the org, they probably know Key, being your brother and everything like that, and how you guys both provide support on the graphic side of things. So and I think he and I are probably gonna have an episode of our own probably down the line as well. And I should probably save this for him, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. How did he become a part of the process? Joining the org? Did he come to you and was like, "Hey, this is something I want to do," or did you go to him and be like, "Hey, I need help designing graphics and everything like that"?
So Josh was never as into esports as I was. He was obviously a gamer.
Oh yeah.
We grew up together doing that together. But he was never super into the esports. He's more like, I want to play Minecraft because I like Minecraft. And, I like single player games because I like the story behind them. And while I had that too, he just was never, he didn't find much affiliation with the esports side. But he was always a very artistic kid growing up. I think my whole family has been. And he started going to school for art stuff. And there came a point where he was like, I feel like I'm just kind of spinning my wheels with design now, because I taught him how to design stuff, and he just kind of took his own creativity level and made it his own. So I gave him the tools, the technical skill, and he just kind of ran with it. He came to me, he's like, I feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm not really designing for purpose. I feel like every once in a while I'll get a client and I'll be excited about it and do that, but that's only like a week-long job at most.
Right.
And I want to do something more active, but I don't know. I just don't have a reason to design. I don't have reason to create art. And I was like, well, hey, I'm pretty much just the only one doing the design stuff for Valk. Not that Zach and Nate can't, because they have Photoshop and stuff, and they open up the files. But most of it's been like templates I've made.
Gotcha.
And they just kind of adapted as needed. But I'm like, hey, we could use someone else coming up with original content, building these kind of files. Just another creative mind in the mix. I know you're not like super into esports, but you don't hate it or anything. So if you want to hop in and see if it's something you'd like and try it out for a while, then by all means. So that's how he got in.
Gotcha. And then now we torture him by playing competitive Valorant together. So
well, he doesn't like us anymore. He doesn't play competitive Valorant with us anymore.
Every now and then. I know we have. Well, the thing is, we've gotten so many people that like to play with us as well. So we had the original Core 5, and now we've got like Core 10. So if we're playing GTA or playing COD or playing something else, they can hop in as well. So I haven't played. I barely play with you guys now as well, but that's because it's casting season. Plus, I've been playing Sea of Thieves and stuff like that as well. So
TFT.
Oh, dude, TFT.
A bunch of weirdos playing TFT all the time.
Set, man. I was so happy that I guess half set came out, but like the more I play it, the more I'm like, I want the old set back, because I knew the old set. But that's actually a good point here, as far as like some comment, like as gaming has progressed along the way and stuff like that. This will be a 2-part question, I guess. What are some of your like favorite vintage games? I'll say so, like from the past. I know you kind of talked about like Sly Cooper and stuff like that, but if you had to rank like a top 5 like games of the past that you like to play, what is that top 5? And then we'll kind of transition into like, what are your top 5 games now?
Okay, so I guess where's the cutoff in terms of vintage? Is it dependent on console?
Let's say,
sort of generation,
I say nothing in the last 5 years, and then like past that, we'll go with
that. Okay, so from 5 years ago before,
That's tough, man. It makes you think.
I know there's so many.
And now we've got viewers that are watching this that are like, "What? You got? How dare you?"
Yeah. God, I don't know. There's just so many, and I mentioned a few of them. I think I have to put Sly Cooper up there. That whole series was fantastic. I love the story. I love the gameplay. I like the characters and their zany banter. I think if you're gonna put Sly Cooper in there, then you have to put the other Naughty Dog title and say Jak and Daxter.
Yeah.
Man, I guess if we're talking 5 years ago, COD technically
Yeah.
can file under there. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll say for me, it's been a while since I've played a lot of COD Zombies. So I'll say COD Zombies is up there in the
I was
top
gonna say,
five.
if you want to lump COD like just together, just like COD, or if you want to separate it in like zombies over multiplayer or like, you know, story mode and stuff like that, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. So yeah, Zombies, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper. I'm trying to think if there's any really good story games I played back in the day, because I think I've played more story games in the last 10 years than I have way back when. Last of Us. Last of Us was a really good one. Good. I really enjoyed Last of Us. And that had a multiplayer too. Most people don't actually know about that, but yeah, there was some form of multiplayer. It was cool. I think is that 5? Did I do
4.
5?
That's 4.
4? Okay.
I need one more.
I think just any football game in general, because I did like NFL Street, but I also played NCAA. I also played Madden. I think that was always a trusty standby to play when I wasn't doing the other stuff. So.
That's fair. That's fair enough. Are you excited for NCAA making a return?
It depends on how they do it.
It's true.
I'm hearing rumor that it's going to be almost like a Madden clone, in which case there's a 0 point.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, it's cool that the concept is coming back, but I'm skeptical until proven otherwise.
One thing I really enjoyed from the old NCAA games, and I hope they bring this back, is that you could literally have a college career with your My Player or creative or whatever, and then you could import him to Madden as a rookie and then continue the story. I really felt like that was cool, because it really kind of broke that fourth wall of you know, transitioning from game to game, and then just having that attachment to that character and moving him on from his high or from his college to his pro day. I just that really did it for me, because I played a lot of sport games.
The full immersion of being like I'm a college football player and I got drafted to the NFL and living that whole story. Yeah, definitely.
100%. I played a ton of sports games, because growing up I played a lot of baseball. I love playing MLB, Madden, NCAA. I played a bunch of wrestling games because I grew up during the Attitude Era. So of course I was a big WWE fan. So I played a lot of the wrestling games and stuff like that. I didn't really start playing, like competitive shooters or just like story games until I kind of got into high school. Like I know for me, if I'm going to go off of my top 5, I got to put Resident Evil 4 at the top of the list. I don't know why that game just always stuck with me as my favorite one, because I've played almost every Resident Evil under the sun. Pretty much every one. I think except for maybe like Operation Raccoon City. And I've played every single version, like GameCube, PlayStation 2, PC, VR. If they come out with another one in the next 2 years, I'll probably play that one too. It's insane. Donkey Kong 64, and I know that one's going to be weird for most people. That was my very first N64 game, and it was amazing. I played
way back in the day.
Dude, something about Rare games, I love them. I know it's like the same thing over and over, and it kind of like Ratchet and Clank, where it's like, I think they're Rare as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same premise of like collect them all kind of things, and then you finish it as well. So you got to find all the bananas for each character. You got to find all the coins for each character and stuff like that. I really love that one. I mean, I can't walk away and not say Super Mario was not like. I mean, that's a no-brainer for me.
Well, that's gonna top a lot of people's lists.
It has to, right?
Or at least make it. Yeah.
I guess I would have to put COD in there as well. Although, because my first taste of like esports was COD and Halo, 100%. And I think that was a lot of people that was their first taste of like esports is COD and Halo, because that scene got so popular, and then it got, you know, transitioning into esports when it became a thing was, you know, content creators hitting clips and competing and stuff like that. Those were your main two, and then Gears of War came out as well. I think so. I'd have to put COD in there. I think that's 4. I think that's 4 for me. If I had to throw a fifth one on there, I would just say Madden. We'll just throw a fifth one, and then, like I said, I played a lot of sports games. But that's the past. We've talked about the past now, and it's nice to kind of revel in the old glory of video games and everything. But what are your kind of like top 5 favorite games now? If you don't necessarily have to list them in like an order, but just what are some of your favorite games you played now?
Definitely can't do.
It's tough, man.
Sit here for another 15 minutes to try and put them in order.
Yeah.
But I guess in no particular order, I think I have to lump The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk together because they're both CD Projekt Red, both kind of the same concept, wildly different like themes and time eras, but again, same kind of concept. Really good games, really rich story experience. I know Cyberpunk had a massive flop at launch, but I think it got way worse of a rep than it really deserved because I didn't have many issues with it in terms of functionality and bugs. Performance issues, yeah, because I had a really outdated graphics card, but had I had what I had now, I probably would have had an even better experience. So that's one. It's sad. I don't even think I can put Call of Duty in this top 5, except unless you count Warzone.
Yeah.
If that makes this list, it's 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because
it's
integrating
current.
what I was good with. Like I was good at COD. I had the gun skill there. I don't think that muscle memory will ever leave my thumbs. No. But with the hot topic of a battle royale, which is like ever since Fortnite made it big, was huge. Actually, even before Fortnite, if you remember H1Z1 battle royale.
I was gonna say PUBG, H1Z1.
PUBG, H1Z1, yeah. Those were really huge. So just getting Call of Duty mixed with that was really big for me, and I still will hop on from time to time and play it. Looking forward to Warzone 2. Hopefully it's much more optimized and playable, and they do some balancing and stuff, so we'll see. Hopefully it's good.
The way that VPNs are starting to become uncriminal or like decriminalized, I might just have to get a VPN, man.
Right?
Everyone, it's insane how like I don't know if you've kept up on like the TikTok side of COD of how Warzone players now, whereas like if they found out you were running a VPN, you'd get flamed. You get absolutely flamed.
That was not even that long ago.
Yeah,
like,
and then
within
now,
the last year,
now
they used to be like that.
It's becoming more of an acceptable thing, and people are like owning up to it. They're like, "Yeah, I use a VPN. It's not cheating." And like the more you think about it, it's no, it's not. But is it scummy? There's like that morale thing there. But as long as people are having fun, I guess I don't. It's kind of the same thing of like any Fortnite players out there of when that rumor kind of went around of like, oh, let's play on Brazilian servers because it's easy, kind of thing. And I totally did that. So, I mean, I guess it's not cheating, but I'm glad to see that people are taking it less seriously and just having some fun. But if you use aimbot out there, like, we're going to have Key DDoS you, by the way. That's an inside joke, but
I was gonna say, why Josh?
It's a joke. If he sees this, he's gonna laugh at it. There's a clip out there somewhere about him DDoSing. I don't know if we'll have time to throw that in here, but I didn't mean to cut you off. What is? Continue.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Within the last month, I finished. I think the game is older than 5 years. Or maybe right at 5 years, but I didn't play it until a month ago. I just finished Red Dead Redemption 2. I never played the original.
Yeah.
But Red Dead Redemption 2 was really good. I actually was surprisingly infatuated with that game. Didn't think I would be. I'm not like a huge Western guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive Rockstar guy. And like I said, I never played the first one, so I didn't even have affiliation with the characters. But they still found a way to rope me in and make me want to be a cowboy outlaw. So I did. So that's definitely up there. I think we're at 3 there. There's an obvious one, but that's probably my number 1. So I'm trying to think where's the 4th one.
I got you.
Let's see.
All the PlayStation fans out there are like screaming, like Spider-Man. How dare
Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
That was a good one too, but I don't know if I'd put that in my top 5.
Well, even the newer, like the newest one, like Miles Morales and stuff like that. I hear
I haven't played that one.
I haven't played it either, but I hear it's great. Or even like God of War. just seeing the new God of War makes me want to play God of War. It looks so good.
Oh, actually, you saying that gives me my fourth one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay.
And I know within the scope of Assassin's Creed, that one gets a bad rap for being one of the worst, but I don't know why, because I've really enjoyed it. Maybe it's just the whole Viking theme kind of got me.
There you
go. It was definitely a fun game. I grinded the hell out of it. Whenever I had extra time, I was playing it. And yeah, that was a good story too.
Gotcha.
So that's the fourth, and then obviously number one is going to be Valorant, because that's what I play the most. That's what I enjoy. It gives me, a method to be back in the competitive scene without having to take it super seriously.
Right.
I wanted so badly to like CS, but I could just never find myself enjoying it enough to make it my full-time game. Like that's my go-to. And for whatever reason, did it right with Valorant, and that's what I enjoy. So that's definitely the top game of this last 5 years for me.
Gotcha. Counter-Strike fans everywhere are like, oh, okay, what? You play in the cartoon game? And trust me, as being a caster for Counter-Strike and talking about Valorant, I get flamed all the time.
Yeah,
dude, I got flamed. Go ahead.
I just don't understand why they can't coexist, like
right.
People can it's like the whole Battlefield versus COD thing. They're wildly different games.
Yep.
You don't have to like one over the other. Let the Battlefield people play Battlefield and enjoy Battlefield. Let the COD people do their thing, and everyone can just be happy playing their version of what they find fun. So I don't understand why. It's got to be just because CSGO has such a long tenure in esports and gaming as a whole. And so people feel like if you like this game that's similar to it and not the original that they feel does it better, then you're out of your mind. So, yeah. I get it. I get the draw to CS.
Yeah,
I just
100%.
I definitely prefer Valorant. So
I got flamed so hard the other night. I was casting, and we had played Valorant like that day, so it's still fresh on the mind. And I will use some terms from Valorant over onto Counter-Strike as well, because it makes sense what I'm saying, So there was a team that went on an eco round, and they won the eco round. They beat the other team that had rifles and everything. They had like pistols, MAC-10s, and like SMGs and stuff like that, right? And I was like, oh, there's a thrifty round from so-and-so. And the chat went off. They were like, thrifty? Question marks. They were like, wrong game, caster. And I'm like, mind your business. You understood what I said. I don't have to say eco every time. It's insane, dude.
Well, the term thrifty doesn't belong to Valorant specifically. So that's what I don't get.
Oh, my God,
it's just
dude.
a word.
Yeah, they went off. And I'm like, okay, anyway. It still applied, but speaking of Valorant, by the time this goes live onto YouTube, it will have finally been announced, and this is kind of transitioning back to org side stuff. We just signed a Valorant team, so I know I'm very excited about that. We've got the Apex team, which is kicking ass and taking names. Their season's starting to kind of kick back up here as well. I know they had a little bit of a lull, a little bit of an off season, but the Valorant team that we just signed is nuts, and I'm excited to watch those guys play.
Yeah, me too. It's been a long time in the making. We've been looking for a roster that is A, competing at the level we want them to compete at, B, competing in the events we want them to compete in, and C, able to represent an org at a higher level than just your average run-of-the-mill team. And this set of 5 is definitely a stark contrast to some of them that we did interview. I think that, I think I've said this about every team we've signed. I think they have the potential to be here for quite a while. So yeah, it's exciting. It's good to just be back in the esport, but also to have it be these guys, because I like them so far and can't wait to keep working with them.
Gotcha. And then just some kind of community events kind of moving forward and stuff like that. When we talk about the community, it's getting to a point where we're having community game night like every Saturday night now.
That's the goal.
Yeah, and it's exciting for me as a part of the org, as a content creator, to be able to go in, meet some of the community that maybe I haven't met yet, and make some relationships with those guys, really hang out with the community in the org, and make some really cool moments. What was it? What was last week? Was it the multiverses or was it?
No, it was Among Us last week. But
That's
before
right.
that was
Yeah.
Multiverses.
Among Us, and then like literally tonight, when while we're recording this episode anyway, is the Minecraft Hunger Games, which that's going to be insane as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as a content creator, that's easy content. You get the org together playing something like that. Oh my god, you just hit the record button and you're going to have a clip or two that happens throughout the whole night. So it gives us a chance as far as the content creators to come in, collab together. Really get that camaraderie up as well. So I love that. And by the way, if you're wanting to participate in game nights, join the Discord. There should be a link down below in the I had a brain thank you. I for some reason my brain was like objection. I'm like, that's not right. In the description there's a link to the Discords there. Join the Discord. We have a community tab where you'll be able to see all the events. Literally this Wednesday we had movie night. We watched Top Gun Maverick. Oh my goodness.
So good.
Oh
dude, that one caught me off guard. I didn't want to go see it in theaters because I wasn't like hyped for it.
Right.
I saw the original, obviously. I mean, who hasn't, unless you were born in the last decade. And I liked the first one, but I wasn't crazy about it or anything. It's memorable though.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch the movie. I just didn't feel the need to go see it in theaters. So this was the perfect excuse to finally get to see it. And I'd heard people saying it was, really good, like movie of the year level. And I'm like, I don't know how that's possible given what Marvel does on a consistent basis. But yeah, I have to agree. It makes a very good case for movie of the year. I've really thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah, and I love how everyone was very respectable. Once the movie started, everyone muted their mics, and we didn't have like one interruption at all. The whole movie was smooth. I know people.
Absolute
some people
class.
were DMing each other, like, oh my god.
Well, that's what the chat's there for.
Yeah,
so we can talk without talking.
Yeah, it really was a really cool experience. I'm looking forward to game night tonight. Actually, since I'm here, let me just head on down to the community tab here in Discord. Community schedule. So let's see, movie night. Yep. Oh, actually, this is not the there it is. Minecraft Hunger Games is tonight. The 17th, which is next Wednesday, will be Valorant 10 Mans. So if you guys want to come play Valorant with us, come play Valorant with us. It's a lot of fun. I know sometimes when I have a chance, I actually sit down and I cast the games. Oh, I'm gonna miss this one. I forgot. No.
Oh, the Valorant one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Disney. I'm gonna be on vacation. Dang it.
It's worth it. You're gonna be in Disney. You can give up one night of Valorant for Disney.
They're so fun though.
I know. Yeah.
And then the 21st is a movie night as well. They're going to be watching Uncharted. And then Saturday, the 24th, is Evil Apples. I haven't heard of Evil Apples.
So it's basically just an online through the browser game, free. Well, it might be a download, but I'm pretty sure you can play through the browser and your phone. It's basically Cards Against Humanity.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah. Gotcha. That should be fun then. Oh, that's gonna
some
get
racy fun.
That's gonna get M-rated really quick, depending on who gets into play. But I mean, Cards Against Humanity, it's all their cards are pretty crazy, just depending on what version you get. But let's see. Any other org news, kind of like that you want to bring up here, or that you're comfortable with bringing up, or maybe some exciting things in the future to look forward to?
I don't really know about news, at least that I can talk about. There's just a lot of stuff that we're looking to implement with the content team, and outside the content team, just content in general. There's a few ideas we're bringing back. There's a few ideas we're doing new. We're flirting with the idea of, I guess the one thing I can publicly say it, because it involves other orgs, is we're looking at trying to do something like either a co-tournament or what did I call it? I referred to it as
Like an exhibition kind of deal?
Yeah, like a showcase match. That's what I was saying. A showcase match for whatever esport teams each org has. Just have a night where teams come together, basically a publicized scrim. just to get the communities together and watching it, give us an excuse to stream it. Just kind of build some familial relationships there, and watch our teams play and go at it. So
that'd be exciting. That'll be maybe, yeah. I know some people we could probably like reach out to.
So if you're watching this and you do have an org, or if you're from an org and you have a team in Valorant or Apex, well, more than likely Valorant, because I don't know how the scrim stuff works with Apex. We'd have to work out some of the kinks with that. But
unless we get multiple teams to come in,
we'd have to get a bunch. But so if you have a Valorant team and you'd like to kind of capitalize on that idea, definitely hit my DMs, or the Valkyrie DMs, one of the two. It'll get to me at some point. And if you're a team that has an org, or hell, I mean, even if you don't have an org and you'd like to be a part of that, let me know. Definitely looking for people. So
and
you'll get a response.
And since we'll be able to host it, I'll be able to get in and cast it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited! I can't wait. I love casting Valorant. It's so fun. Just the abilities make it amazing. So
I was gonna say, like, for the greater good, come on, like, get in here so we can have Angel cast, because then everyone gets to hear his voice. Come on, we need to hear it more.
Oh man. But I think that'll do it. I think we've gotten a really cool episode here that we're gonna get out to the people. By the way, if you are listening to this, if you want to listen to more episodes of the Valkyrie podcast, you can check us out on Spotify. Check us out on YouTube. Just recently here on Spotify, they actually made it to where you can actually watch the video as well. So now you get to see our beautiful faces every episode as well moving forward. So that's a nice change. If you do like the episode, please drop a like on it, share it with somebody so that they can listen to the episode as well. Or even, go follow the YouTube channel, go follow the Twitch channel. Please join the Discord as well. That thing is hopping every night. There's somebody playing on there, whether it's us playing Valorant or people playing multiverses or anything. I know we've got some people that are like just absolute fiends at the game as well. Shaw, looking at you. But it's an overall a great time. Would you try that again? Do you have any kind of parting words here for the community before we wrap things up?
No, just more of an Easter egg. Only OGs that have followed me for a long time will know what this is about. But I might bring this back as a regular kind of thing that I tweet. But stay creative, everybody. Stay creative. You don't know what that means.
I do not. I was thinking to myself. I was like,
you'll find out.
Oh man! All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us here at the Valkyrie podcast. My name is Angel of Battle 07, your host for the evening. Please give a warm applause. Please help me in thanking Mitch taking some time out of his day to sit here and record an episode for you guys. We appreciate it. It gives us a chance to really learn about the org, some of the members inside as well, and shine a new light on the org as well. So I appreciate it. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to get an episode in.
Of course.
That'll do it for us. So we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Have a good night.
Later.